Patrick Cook here. Welcome to session number 35 of Mastering Mandelbulb Formulas. What am I going to do with this mess? All right. It doesn't look good. I can't use it. It took a long time to render. But what I was doing is I was showing you 6 formulas in the DEcombinate. Okay. And I was actually showing you that these formula sets are divided by this 2. So this is formula set number 1. And formulas 2 through 6 are the second part. I don't know. There's something in here. There's one of these formulas that is taking a long time to render, number 1. And or it's just throwing the whole thing off where it just doesn't look good. All right. And I believe I had run this in min. So all the objects, these are all escape time now. All of these objects are all on the screen. They just all blended together and they don't look very good. So what do I do about it? There's a couple options. Option number 1, throw everything away and start over. Hit the reset, throw it all away, start all over again. That's one way to do it. Now that's sort of kind of like the long road to get there. You can throw formulas into your formula configuration to your heart's content. Throw a formula in, throw it in there, try it. I don't like it. Throw it in. I don't like it. Try it. All right. And yeah, you'll be at it for a long time. You'll probably have a good time, but all right. The other thing you can do is you can start backing away the formulas until you find a set that you, a final that you like. Okay, so that's the second way to do it. You do not have a way, well, I take that back. You might have a way. Okay. All right. My thinking is, how can I temporarily turn these formulas off without removing them from the formula slot? Let's try it. If I was to come down here and say the iteration count on formula number 6 should be 0, all right, will it run? Probably. The issue you have is that you in DEcombinate, you've got 2 sets, and both of those sets have to have at least a formula with at least 1 iteration in the formula. So it's limited to how many of these formulas I can turn off by setting a 0 value. But let's try it. Okay. I'm in the second set now. All right, my demarcation is 2, so I can even turn off formula 3. So what I've done is I've said, look, don't iterate formulas 3, 4, 5, and 6, but do iterate formula sequence number 1 and formula sequence number 2, and let's see what happens. Okay, now that is better. So what I've done here is I've kind of cheated the system, and I've said, look, don't iterate some of these formulas. Now, let's see if this little technique can go any further here. So let's say formula number 2, don't iterate it. I'm going to set that to 0. Let's see if that even works. No, I didn't think so. All right, error, formula option is not valid. Here's the point. I have to have, in DEcombinate, I have to have at least one of the formulas in each of the set where there's an iteration count of greater than 0. By taking the second DEcombinate set and slamming it down to 0, forcing that formula to not iterate at all, I have basically broken the rule, and it will not iterate. It will not render. Okay? So I'm kind of limited into what I can do to figure out why that original blah graphic was so, well, blah. All right? So I got to put that back to 1. So I'm a little limited on what I can do to fix this graphic. Now, a third option is I can go in there and I can start modifying the properties. You know, and you know, if you've got a half a dozen properties per formula, you could be at that for quite a long time. So, so reset and start over. Back out the formulas to the extent that you can by setting their iteration count to 0, basically turning the formula off up to a point, or modifying the properties. You know, and the other thing you could do too is you could say, look, you know, let me just start simple. All right, for instance, let's reset everything. Get back in DEcombinate mode. And I'm going to say, well, let's see. How does Rayman look with Macon 3D-1? All right, let's render that. Okay. So, okay, that's decent. That's decent. Now here's the min and there's the max. You can play with that too. And then you can modify the properties, you see. So then you say, okay, what if I was to add a quintic? We're in DEcombinate now, and we're in min. So we're showing all of the bulbs. In min, we show all the bulbs. So now you say, well, that's interesting. Now I've got something going on over here. So maybe quintic is not quite where I want to go with this. So you go to formula number 3 and you say, well, what if I was to try Beth 651, calculate. All right, so you get the point. Here's where I'm going. A better way to approach this, rather than throwing a whole bunch of formulas at it and DEcombinate, a whole bunch of formulas at it, build it. Start with a couple formulas. If you get a pattern you like, build on that. Throw another formula at it. See if that looks good. Swap their positions. All right? In other words, take this formula 3 and shove it over into formula 2. Recalculate, see what we get. All right, I changed it dramatically. So now you say, well, that looks good. And then you come over here and you save it. All right, you save it because you're saving your formula configuration when you save it. All right, and you keep just kind of building it. And if you put a formula in there you don't like, you pull it back out again. Build your creation. And that's what I wanted to leave you with this session. Build your creation. All right. All right. All right. We'll catch you in the next session. I'll see you there.